번 날 두고 가시나
Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be dishing out my unpopular K-pop opinions. But before we start, I just wanted to say that this isn't a hate video towards anyone, and most of my opinions are very general. So please keep that in mind and stay respectful while you're watching this and in the comments. And listen to the entire opinion before writing something completely attacking me, please. And I also have some merch and a very nice website, so be sure to check both out. The links are below and in the comments. So let's start. Okay, for my first opinion, I would just like to say it's okay to dislike songs by idols you like. You're not gonna love every single song that they put out, and that's okay. I think that everyone has such a unique and diverse listening ear, and you shouldn't be so judgy if someone says that they stand a group, but they don't like a specific song. Actually, the main reason I'm putting this in here is because I do say I dislike songs after this. Number 2. I don't really like the song Stay by Blackpink, and before you blanks attack me, I love Blackpink. I love so many of their songs, but I don't know, Stay is just one of the few songs that never has really clicked with me. Maybe it's just a me thing, maybe every single other blank loves that song and I'm just weird. Please tell me below, because I feel like I am really bad at listening to music now because I don't like this specific song. But tell me your thoughts below. Number 3, superm doesn't really need to be a group. Now, once again, please don't attack me. Honestly, I love all the members of superm, but I just don't really think there was a need for this group to be there, especially since it just seems like a marketing ploy. That's my honest opinion. I don't really think there was a point of making this group other than to make that one song dropping. But I mean, everyone's open to their own opinions. Tell me what you think of superm below. For my 4th one, 0 O'Clock wasn't all that creative, and it isn't my favorite song on Map of the Soul 7. I can already hear the rage. I can already feel the rage. I know that this song is so sweet and stuff, but to me, it just seems like one of the most generic boy group songs ever. Honestly, if we changed the lyrics and gave it to One Direction, it would have still fit. Changed the lyrics and gave it to EXO, still would have fit. Changed the lyrics and really gave it to just about really any K-pop boy group, it would have really worked as a B-side. Honestly, it wasn't my favorite B-side on Map of the Soul. It would have to actually be one of my least favorite songs in the entire album. But I mean, that's my opinion. Please tell me what you think below of this one. Number 5, Somi was better in a group. I mean, I just think that she has so much potential, but her potential was better stored in a group. I think Somi makes excellent music now, but it just was better when she was in a group. I don't know any other way to really explain that, except for I think that she just was better off when she was in a group, being the main singer and stuff. But that's my honest opinion. Once again, tell me what you think below. Number 6. All companies have their flaws. I am tired of hearing people say that they stan a company when in fact you should never stan a company because they're always going to do something wrong. And I don't mean how they mess up because they're humans. No, it's they're mistreating their idols because they are humans, that type of thing. How can you be a YG stan? How can you be a JYP stan? How can you be an SM stan or even a big hit stan when you know that they mistreat their idols, even if it's in really small ways? Even if it's just they're telling the stylist to put them in really short and revealing clothes. I think that this needs to be said because not many people are really talking about it. And I mean, I guess that's the point of this being an unpopular opinion. Don't companies have their flaws? I don't understand why people can say that JYP is such an amazing company. Oh my gosh. Because, I mean, they have so many things that they're doing wrong. I don't understand how you can say that about any company. I'm just using JYP as an example. But, yes. Anyways, next we have not idols are perfect, so stop covering up their mistakes. This isn't the same as the company one, as I said before. This one is more, If an idol or just a group in general has a bad performance, you don't need to cover that up by saying, OMG, I love this, or exaggerating things, or whatever. It's okay that they messed up, and it's okay to recognize that this wasn't their best performance, and they've had better ones. That's okay. And I think that needs to be understood a lot more, because fans of really just about any fandom seem to like to cover it up. Like, it just makes it seem like they have to be perfect. And I feel like it's just putting more pressure on the idols to be perfect for their fans. And sometimes it comes off very sarcastic. Now we have stop defending bad behavior from idols. This is different from the past two, like I said before. This one is mostly racial stuff, which I mean makes sense. But really anything that can be very controversial, whether it be something racist or something about a different gender or whatever, don't defend that. Don't say that they're uneducated, because if they're so uneducated, you should be educating them. I feel like this needs to be cleared, because although Korea is known as being one of the most racist countries, it's still not right for them to be told, and for people to defend them being racist or saying anything that could be discriminatory towards anyone. I mean, you only have to take a few Google searches to know what you're saying is wrong. Also, don't say that they're uneducated, because you don't know if they really are racist in real life, or if maybe it was just a joke that they half-handed and they really didn't know. Just stop defending and just tell them that it was wrong. That's what needs to be said. I feel like people really need to stop, because it's really annoying. Next, all fandoms have a toxic side. I feel like this isn't unpopular. I feel like everyone just knows that this is true, regardless of whether they really want to admit it or not. This is the only thing. I wouldn't even say this is an opinion. This is more of a very looked fact, because every fandom has a toxic side, and that's the truth. ARMYs, Blinks, EXILs, I mean, I'm just saying, like, the top ones, not three, but, like, Stays, I don't know, MOAs, etc., etc. There's always gonna be, even if it's just a really small group of that fandom, that is toxic, obsessive. I mean, every fandom has sasaengs, you know what I mean? I don't think that people should act like their fandom is completely perfect, because although the fandom overall could be chill, there is still going to be toxic people within it. Next is some stans or fans are extremely too sensitive. And this can mean a number of things. This can be when someone says they don't like a certain idol's comeback, them making it a big deal. Or when someone tells them that their idol messed up, like in Before, they'll be like, oh, they'll be defending them, like, oh, they were sick or whatever. It's not a big deal. Or just them crying over literally every single thing that their idol does. Maybe I'm just not sensitive enough with that last one, but that can mean a number of things, but mainly I'm just focusing on when other people get too sensitive about other fans or other fandoms. When people say, oh, I didn't really like this new comeback, and they don't even listen to the rest. They just hear, I don't like Enter group, not the song. They just don't like the group. They must be a solo stan, whatever, etc. It's just, people are being too sensitive. It needs to be got over, because, like, no one cares about that type of stuff. You need to chill. If someone dislikes something, get over it. I don't really see in any way why this could be a good thing, other than, like, it's okay to be sad if you hear a sad song your idol made. That's not what I mean when I say this. I mean, people need to toughen up when someone says they don't like something by a group they stan. It's just kind of annoying at this point. Next is skinny shaming. Where do I even start? I've made a video on skinny shaming and fat shaming in K-pop a while ago. I'll link it in the description below if you really are interested. That one goes a lot more in depth, but to just shorten it up for you, skinny shaming is a thing. Rose from Blackpink is going to be my example for this. Honestly, I'm tired of people saying for her to eat, because she loves food, and I feel like that is very apparent in many things if you even scrape the surface of the fandom. it is so terrible to hear that. Honestly, I can't imagine what it's like to basically be told that you're too skinny. What's with that? I mean, like I said, I have a video going even more in depth, and it specifically talks about Rose and Yoongi from BTS. So you guys can watch that down below if you want to get a more in-depth analysis, or if you want me to make a newer video that's more up to date. Honestly, I can't even begin in just this video. Next is standing is fine, but it shouldn't be such a big deal. I agree with this one a lot because I definitely, even though I haven't been a super big fan of K-pop for super duper long, I've only been a fan for about a year and a half now, I would say. About a year and a half. But I've unstanned a group before. I don't understand why people make it so apparent. Like, OMG, how do I unstan a group? Oh my gosh, I want to unstand this group, but I feel like people are going to attack me. Like, there are no regulations to standing a group, so why does there have to be regulations for unstanding a group? If you're just not into a group that much anymore, or you just want to be super casual and just listen to them when you want and say that you're not a stan, that's a fine, but you don't need to make it an entire statement on Twitter, going on for paragraphs and paragraphs, tweeting, just saying how I'm just not in love with insert a group here. I mean, they were nice when I first got into K-pop, etc., etc., etc. It just goes on and on. I am tired of it. If you don't want to listen to a group anymore, then just don't listen to them. No one's forcing you. Just stop it. Okay, guys? Okay. And this is the third to last one. Dating bans are okay, but dating in K-pop shouldn't be a big deal. I do think I have to explain this a little bit more. So by dating bans, I mean that when idols first debut, they're not allowed to date, but like after a year, 2 years, 3 years of them being a defined group, they're allowed to date. That's what I mean by dating ban. I don't mean they're never allowed to date until they disband and they are completely exiled from the company. That's not what I mean. I think that it's okay for idols to date as long as they're not dating immediately once they get out, because people, I mean, let's just think about it. Humans have big heads. That's the best way I can explain it. And they don't exactly have big enough brains to fill them. That's how I'm going to explain this. Honestly, there's no specific idol I can immediately think of. There probably is. I think there is a specific one that I probably could use as an example, but for the most part, I think that it's not good for idols to date immediately once they start becoming an idol, because even if they're not the biggest, they may think that they're completely on top of the world and just use dating as a ploy to get people closer to them, which isn't right and can get people super cocky. And honestly, if they're in a group, I mean, if they're soloists, they can just be canceled. But if they're in a group, it's overall not good for the people in the group. It's not fair, especially if it's just one of them. So yeah, I think dating bans are okay, but the other side of this would be, I think it's okay for idols to date. You don't own any idol. You can say that, Chan from Stray Kids is 100% my, child. I'm so in love with Chan, but you don't own him, and if he ever wants to start dating, which, I mean, for all we know, he could be dating, that's okay. Whenever they start dating, whenever any idols start dating, you need to accept that it's okay that you're not dating them, and you probably didn't have a chance. Let's be honest. There are billions of people on this earth. You know how slim of a chance it is to even make eye contact with those people? Just think about it. It's sad, but it's true. And I think that idols dating should be more accepted, because especially for idols that are in groups, whenever they start dating, they get completely mass attacked and spread through Twitter, and their phone numbers get leaked like they haven't already, emails, etc. It's so messed up, and it's not fair that they just want to be able to live their life and find the love of their life, but they can't do that just because they have a contract and because they have people that think that they care for them but are just being obsessive. But yeah, I really want to get that off my chest. But dating bans are okay, but dating K-pop shouldn't be such a big deal. So second to last, we have slower songs shouldn't be so slept on in K-pop. I mean, think about it. Some of the most favorite songs can be some of the slowest songs. For example, Spring Day by BTS, Slowest Shopping Tarts. It really is. It's always topping them. But aside from ones like Spring Day, where people always know them, like B-sides by Red Velvet that are slower and stuff like that, people really sleep on them. No one really talks about them. And it's messed up because sometimes the ballads and the slower songs and the ones that are just really nice and slow are some of the best songs that you actually get to hear on that album, but no one takes it into recognition because it's a slower song. Honestly, in K-pop, everyone's always just thinking about the faster paced songs, like, for example, Icy by ITZY. And I think that other songs that are a bit slower, for example, I don't know, maybe The Truth Untold by BTS should also be very accepted and more listened to and more talked about. Maybe The Truth Untold is a bad example. But maybe One of These Nights by Red Velvet is a better example. People know the song, but no one really ever talks about them, and they get so overlooked. I want to see more of that slower genre of K-pop coming out more and people talking about it more and it getting more, I don't know, produced and stuff like that, because it's nice to just hear a slower, not super fast and summery and exciting vibe in K-pop all the time. Okay, now for my last one. There should be more dark concepts in K-pop. Oh my gosh, I disagree with this one so much. I love dark concepts in K-pop so much, and I want to see so much more of it. Honestly, with TXT's newer songs, I really like how there's a more darker concept, and it's kind of leaning more on the horror aspect. I want to see more of that type of stuff in K-pop with songs. I'll put them on the screen now. But songs like that, songs in these, like, I just want to see more of that because it's so cool to hear that darker aspect that you may not always hear, especially groups do very bright and sunny and extra songs. It's nice to hear something else a bit darker and possibly a bit slower, even if it's fast-paced and just a very dark lyrics. It's just very interesting to hear, and it's a lot more different from what you're usually hearing, especially in fourth generation K-pop right now, because most of it's very upbeat, and I mean there are some exceptions, but most of it's pretty upbeat, and you don't really hear as many slower songs, especially this year. I'm noticing there's very fast-paced, very extravagant, very cool choreo, but yeah, I think that's there should be more of it. And those are all my opinions. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and tell me what your opinions of my opinions are down below, and any unpopular opinions you think I agree with, you think I disagree with, or just ones that you need to get off your chest down below. And tell me these down below so maybe I can make a video in the future saying your unpopular opinions. Almost like a part 2 to the one I made of my Amino fans doing, like, their opinions on my channel. I would love to do that, but I will definitely need some comments. So if you want to be in that video, say it down below. When I have enough, I'll make a part 2 of your opinions. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like. Check out my merchant site, which once again will be linked down below in the comments and the description. And if I can possibly figure it out, I'll probably link the videos that I mentioned before down below. Hopefully, if I remember. If I don't, then just remind me and I will link them. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys next Saturday. Bye!